Welcome back. Can bullying start as young as age 2? Some schools across the country are taking steps to prevent bullying with preschoolers.
Yeah, here to talk about this unique approach is Susan Hoy, the owner of the Goddard School at Kingsbridge Center in New Jersey, where Governor Chris Christie recently signed the anti-bullying Bill of Rights law. Nice to see you this morning, Susan.
Good
Welcome.
morning.
Good morning.
So the question, can kids really learn to bully, or are they bullying at the age of 2, or are we just jumping to conclusions here?
Well, you do learn to differentiate. Certainly, toddler behavior, is toddler behavior, pushing and shoving and maybe biting, but that's developmental. What we look for is when children begin to verbalize and are intentionally mean to one another. That's what we construe as the beginning of a bullying behavior.
I do want to hear what you guys are doing to combat bullying, but all across the country we're hearing about these laws enacted. We're hearing about the rise of bullying. I don't mean to add to say I am in favor of bullying, but are we softening kids by protecting them from any criticism? Isn't there something to be gained from learning how to take criticism and toughening up your kids?
There is, but Goddard has a program they started about 6 years ago, well before bullying was so much in the news. It's called the Goddard Guide to Getting Along, and we implemented it at age 2.5. And what we are trying to do is to help them to resolve problems on their own, instead of us solving the problems for them, to give them the skills that they need to say to their peers, I don't like it when you do this to me, to verbalize it, and hopefully to build the confidence that they need to go to, whether it's their parent, their teacher, and ultimately guidance counselors, to say, I'm having this problem.
So one of the questions, is that working? So when a lot of these kids, of course, they're going to look around for mommy or daddy. They're going to look around for a teacher. I just got pushed. Mrs. Hoy, can you come here and help me? Is it working? Are they able to do this on their own at that age, 2 years old?
Well, let me give you an example.
Sure.
Let's say, not at 2, because at 2 they're really not verbal enough. But let's say at 3. Let's say that there are 3 or 4 little girls and they're playing together. And one of them says, we shouldn't play with her. She's wearing a dress. I don't want to play with her. Do you want to play with her? She's wearing a dress. And all of a sudden, 3 of them are saying, no, we're not going to play with her. She's wearing a dress. And, of course, the little girl in the dress begins to cry. The teacher who observes this kind of behavior, that is intentional, that's deliberate, obviously she'll comfort the child who is upset, but then she will stop the activity and, back in the day, would say, well, you play with her and you play with her and that's it. No. We'll ask them to express what they're feeling, have the other children realize that that behavior and those words have been hurtful, and ask them to think about what they would do differently if they had to do it all over again. Sure. And that does work. It really does work to get them to verbalize those kinds of thoughts and feelings.
Right. It may have quelled some of our skepticism. Yeah. Dr. Susan Hoy, nice to see you this morning. Did I call you doctor?
No, but that's okay.
All right, you can take the doctor.
I'll take promotion.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Coming up, check this out. A fight on the high